One look and I breathe. One touch feels skin deep. A picture perfect, underserving.
Greetings. Welcome to Mo Money Mondays. I am your host, Vanda. So excited that you have decided to join us this evening. Of all the places you could be, you're right here with me. And so, here on Mo Money Mondays, we talk about all things regarding financial wellness, financial building, growing, so on and so forth. And so, well, let me just say that tonight I do have a guest, but I always like to give a few tips before we get into it. And in case you don't know, you are tuned in to All About Us Media here, bringing so much insightful expertise to your life. So thanks again for joining us here on Mo Money Mondays. And let's get started. So lately, I have been sharing just a couple of tips because I'm always posting on my social media, and I got great response from my last tip that said, "Oh, what was it?" My last tip. Oh, I know what it was. I shared with people that they should spend money on experiences rather than things, you know? So, what does that mean? That's like that vacation with your significant other, your lover, or maybe it's a hot air balloon ride, or maybe it's just, a limousine date. Something really fun, something that will touch your heart, that will, increase your energy, frequency, make your heart race just a little bit, as opposed to spending your money on material things. So why do I say that? Well, the Coach bag is wonderful. Lord knows I love a Coach bag. Okay. But once I've done that, how many times am I using it? I actually think about how often you actually will find a purpose, a reason to pull that bag out because you want to, keep it pristine, unless it's your everyday bag. But, down the line, you'll remember the experience always and forever. It'll just make you smile in the middle of a day. You'll giggle to yourself. Coach bag, maybe not so much. Also, I feel like an experience gives you, that experience that you can hold forever, definitely a better bang for your buck. So that I got really great feedback on that one. But I had a couple of others that I wanted to share before we get into the meat of our evening. I had someone inquire earlier this week about having bad credit and how they could resolve that, or at least where they should start. And so I thought that was a good thing to share tonight. If you have bad credit, one of the best ways, quickest ways, easiest ways to begin to restore your credit and turn that around is to get yourself a store credit card, if possible. And that would mean like going to, one of our leading manufacturing makeup stores and getting their personal credit card, or maybe going to one of the fashion stores in the mall and getting their credit card. They won't give you a large limit. They might just give you $250 or $300 limit, but it's a great way to start to become trustworthy. Or if that's not a possibility, then maybe get a secured credit card. So a secured credit card helps build credit like a regular credit card, but it won't let you overspend. And you don't need good credit to get one. So they do serve a purpose. Okay. Great idea. Get yourself a secured credit card. We also talked this week in our chat rooms about life insurance. I had a great conversation with ladies yesterday who actually work for the government. And we established that when you're in, I believe they were in the DMV, Maryland, Virginia area, right? So they are government workers. And what does that mean when you work for the government? Chances are your salary is very decent and you'll probably be there for a long time because the benefits are stellar, right? Many government workers find that they are truly at their job anywhere from 10 to 25, 30 years. Not often do they leave. So I say that to say, the benefits that come with a comprehensive employer such as the government, you'll have life insurance as part of your benefit. And I always say that you need to get more life insurance on top of your company's policy. Why, you ask? Well, if you started that job at 25, 35, 45, and you leave the job at 55 or 60, let's just say you've been a dedicated employee, you've loved your position at that job, you've done your entire tenure there. When you leave the job, you can't take the life insurance with you. And if you can take the life insurance with you, it'll be much more expensive, not at a group rate. And so we talked about that yesterday with government officials making an incredible salary, but they'll still be older when they retire. And then they won't have life insurance. And you have no idea how expensive it is. Well, let me tell you, because you will have an idea. It is so expensive to get life insurance as you get older. The older you are, the more expensive it is. And it's usually in our aging where we really are at a place where we want to create generational wealth, right? So always get a policy, a plan for yourself outside of your employment. Okay, so are you guys ready? I think we're ready. That's it for tips. Let me tell you a little bit about tonight's guest. I've been threatening. Is the word threatening? Maybe not. I've been threatening. I have been anticipating. I have been um, okay. Well, we talk about taxes. We've been talking about credit and taxes over the last several months, but I've never had anybody here to really get down and dirty with the tax information. And so tonight I have the pleasure of somebody that we can get down and dirty with about the tax information. Okay, it's going to be really great. And I have lots of questions. If you have any questions along the way, please um, send us your questions. He is here to answer all questions. So I met an amazing gentleman on LinkedIn probably about a year ago. His name is Peter Osborne, and he is the CEO of his own tax and accounting firm, which is really wonderful, out of the Southern Connecticut area. He's dedicated to finance and accounting. That's the industry, accounting. How many of you all out there need an accountant? How many of you guys need a tax guy? Yeah, I've taken my taxes to those local agencies. Very generic. They get the job done, though. Don't get me wrong. But it becomes a little different when you are in business for yourself or when you have an employer and you have a side hustle if you're claiming taxes. You should be claiming taxes if you've had that side hustle for more than 2 years. Okay. Did you know that you should be claiming taxes even if you have something like a roommate? If you have a roommate and you are actually receiving income, If you are collecting rent from your roommate, you should be claiming taxes on that. Did you know that? How many of us do that? My lips are sealed. Um, anyway, he has an amazing track record of in providing tax preparation services and conducting financial analysis or credit portfolios for corporate clients as well. Incredible attention to detail. And he's here to answer our questions tonight. So I would like to introduce everyone to Mr. Peter Osborne. Come on through. Oh, did I do it? Did I do it? Let's do it. There we go.
Good night, everybody. Greetings. Name is
All
Peter.
right, all right. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Osborne. How are you tonight?
I am doing fine, thank you. Truly happy to be here with you tonight.
Excellent, excellent. So here we are. It's taken us a year. I'm so thrilled.
No, I'm freezing, so forgive me if I look bundled up, but it's extremely cold and my radiator is not working, so
Oh,
I'm dealing with a cold as I speak with you.
I understand. I understand. That's another story. I've had some of that as well here lately. So I always like to just kind of, I always share my story about how I
Mhm.
got in the financial industry. Not a choice. I just kind of landed there based on commitment to service. So I would love for you to start with, can you share how did you even get into the
Into
tax
accounting.
industry? How did you become the tax guy?
I came to this country a little over 20, roughly 21 years ago. And unlike many others, I didn't come with a little brown envelope under my arm. I came on a a visitor's visa, and my church encouraged me to stay, that they would file for me. Well, guess what? They did, but they didn't come through. And I had a family I had to provide for, and I am driven, so I decided I wanted to go back to school. I went to the local university, tried to get myself in, willing to pay my way, but they wanted me to do courses that I had already done, and I thought it was a waste of money and time. I asked, let me do something that I hadn't done before. My background prior to this was engineering. So I said, let me do something I haven't done before, but I have a natural aptitude for. They said, well, you were a numbers guy, so why don't you do accounting? So accounting it was. At the end of my first year with straight A's in school, my family and friends started asking me to do their taxes. And it was a challenge, but I took it on. And that mushroomed. One told another and another and another and another. Before you know it, at the end of that year, I had a little over 100 clients. And they were all truly happy. Got back some really amazing refunds. And the rest is history. I keep adding to my client portfolio every year, both personal and business clients. And then I got into one of the biggest thing. I got hired by a company. That was after I got my immigration situation sorted out. I got hired by a company called Credit Knowledge Inc. And I became their financial controller. And I began to learn about credit. Began to examine other people's credit portfolios. And I realized credit is something that every American either has or must have. And if you think you don't have one, guess what? It's because you haven't checked. Because we all have one. If we have a social security number, there is a credit portfolio attached to our number and our name. And so I started looking at it. Everybody needs credit at some point in the game, but most of us, whether we realize it or not, we have damaged credit. Credit that is damaged because, uh, particularly among the African American community, we tend to have attitude. And when someone gets on or what we call our wrong side, we have a way of just slighting them and not doing what we should do financially. And it tends to have a way of coming back to bite us in places we'd rather not be bitten. So
Mm.
I'm trying to be nice with my choice of words here, Vanda, so please pray for me.
It's okay. We can get a little ratchet. It's okay.
Okay.
Not too much though. I appreciate you.
All right. So um, I started digging into the whole credit business, learning more about it, and started looking at my own personal credit, and started talking to my family members who were, most of us all had screwed up credit. And as you advised at the beginning of the program, one of the best ways to start rebuilding your credit before you do anything else is to get a controlled credit card. Even though it's small amount, a controlled credit card is one that you can get through a department store like Walmart, Macy's, Target, those places. Their limits will be from anywhere from $200 to $1,000. Um, and it doesn't. It's not because of who you are. It's just the luck of the draw. You may just apply at a time when they're giving higher credit limits than others, and you might just get in with $1,000 credit limit, sometimes a $2,000 credit limit. And if you go with a Best Buy, you might end up with a $5,000 credit limit, with Visa attached to it, so you can spend elsewhere, not just at their store. The key thing is to understand it's not your money. So when you use it, you just borrowed somebody's money. And when you borrow, you must pay back with interest. Okay? If you're paying back over time, there are stipulations given by the lender, and you must pay by a certain date. If you pay on or by a certain date, then they will report you as having favorable credit. If you are consistently missing those payment periods that they give you, guess what? Your credit is going to go in the toilets. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
The word consistently you used.
critical. It's not to
I,
hit the
I
mark
thought it
this
was
month.
right away. Like if you pay late, that's it. You're already beginning to go downstream.
You are already going down the toilet. Don't do that. Don't miss payments. Even if you're not paying the agreed upon amount, make the payment date.
Good information
Make
to have.
make the payment date. Call and ask for permission to pay less, but don't miss the date. If
Wow.
you're due to pay $100 and all you have is $5, call and make an arrangement. They will take your $5 and keep you as being paid on time. But that is more critical. And understand that having credit in this country is better than having money in the bank.
Yeah.
Hello?
Did you hear that?
The truth is. Okay. Now back to taxes. So tax became my big business because after a while with Credit Knowledge Inc., um, I realized I was being a paid prostitute. Pardon my French. I was trading my time and my health for money.
Hmm.
Is anybody who realized that you go out every day and you wager an hour of your time for a couple of bucks? Guess what? I call that low down prostitution. You are selling yourself short. And so I went back to developing my business. And so at that time, I incorporated and started my business officially. And that worked well for me.
Excellent.
Opened an office in Norwalk, and whew, it mushroomed. I ended up starting off for the first year, I had 5 employees because the business volume was so high. Until
Well,
I learned
everybody pays taxes,
you don't pay
right? I mean, this is something that everybody, a service that everybody uses.
and if you are consistent and honest, you will be able to make good money. And this is a little bit of commercial for taxes as a business. You don't have to be a genius. You can learn it. You really can. There are software out there that if you learn how to use them, you can look like a pro.
Really? So you could teach me how to do taxes?
Well, easily, absolutely.
Okay, we definitely have got
We
to
will
talk.
talk.
Yes, I'm definitely looking to add more
It's a great
financial.
stream of income. You have a lot of friends, and all your friends need to do their taxes.
Yeah, they
Guess
really
what?
do.
You can take it from them, and you can, in half an hour, you can have them back a nice refund. That, ooh. So where do you come in, Peter? Well, guess what? Even as nice a refund as you can get them using those systems, I can do better because I know the law.
Okay. So, okay, let's talk about that. So it's important to know your tax codes and your tax
Very
laws.
important.
Um,
Very, very
I,
important.
I do have a question for you. Uh, Tell us a little bit about, we have a lot of folks watching that are actually entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
beginning their own businesses, or perhaps they have employers, but they are funding their hustle, their business that
Mm.
they are beginning. What sort of help me? What sort of tax goals should I have or create for myself?
For the guy, and it's not a one size fit all. Everybody is going to be different. So each person's situation has to be individually analyzed. However, one of the things that is a key noter, or which is most notable among startups, is that most people tend to put money into the business without keeping a record of what they're doing. And in doing that, you're really throwing money away because every penny that you use in setting up your business, you can write off against your taxes going down the road.
Yeah. Be more specific. So you're talking like receipts,
Every receipt that you use,
airfare.
I mean, if you had to pay a cab to take you to do something relating to your business, all you got to do is you make sure you print your statement at the end of the month and go through that statement and write on each item what it was for and back it up with a, hopefully you keep a journal or you keep a, what do you call it, you keep a calendar, and your calendar is able to match with those expenses date. Then you can verify that that expense was related to your business endeavor. Are you with me?
I am with you, but Peter, so okay, I keep every receipt. I don't know how organized they are, but I
The
actually
organization is my job.
is that right? I
You can
have a
you
like
can bring
here.
them in a shoebox and
Here
I'm
is
good.
wait, here are some
That's good
receipts
enough
that
for me.
I have. These I'm not sure where they came from, but when I find them, I'll bundle them and I say I'm going to organize them next week. It's on my to-do list, and then I end up with like 25 of these bags or
Because guess
envelopes.
what? QuickBooks has become so very beautiful and unique that I can set you up a QuickBooks account. And you have an iPhone, don't you?
Oh, I'm an Android user.
Doesn't matter. I think Android does have an app for it too, but I will check.
Okay.
But for primarily,
I have an
the
iPad though.
people, you have an iPad, so great. You will then be able to scan your receipts into QuickBooks, and at the end of the day, I will go in and I will organize them into the accounts that they belong.
Shut the front door.
Yes, and your
Okay. Well,
accounting
we
will be
definitely
done.
have to talk.
And the good thing is, I don't charge for doing that if I'm doing your taxes at the end of the year.
Whoa.
No.
Okay. I think I've just found a tax guy, huh? You hear that, guys? I think I've just found a tax guy. Um, so tell folks, I, I know folks that have businesses
Mhm.
for more than 3 years and have not filed taxes.
You need to do it and do it fast. It
What
means
sort of
that you are
penalty?
on the radar.
Yeah.
You're on the radar of the IRS, and they're going to be coming at you pretty soon and pretty fast. And when they come fast and they come hard. They are
Okay.
not to be played with. And remember, each IRS officer is a police officer. They
Whoa.
come with their own handcuffs. I'll try
Really?
to make it. Yes, they are. They have police powers. They will arrest you on spot if they have to.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that. So, what can folks do? What can I do to improve my tax situation? I mean,
Well,
there's
we need,
always room for improvement in everything that we do,
if
is
you
there?
have back years of accounting and stuff to do, there will be a little bit of a charge because it's going to be a little bit of work to get your books in order to get you to where you can remain current. However, there is a loophole. The IRS can only go after you for taxes 3 years back.
What?
Only 3 years they can go after you for what you owe. If you
Hmm.
missed it up to the fourth year, they are stuck with you. And the only way they can go after you beyond that is if you perjure yourself, you committed a tax crime or something like that. So
Okay.
that's why it's important to not lie on your tax returns.
Right.
I can't stress that more because the bulk of our business comes from people who believe that they're smarter than the IRS. And so by April 15th, they concoct their lies and they submit their return, get the fat refund. And by October, the IRS reminds them, listen, we didn't miss that little thing that you did. Guess what? We want to see your books. We need to see you in our office on X date. Please be there on time. Bring your representative. You're being audited.
Wow. That's scary.
It is very scary because they're stone faced when you sit across the table from them.
I don't like that word audited. I've been
It's a
audited
dirty word.
as a company before, and it is a pain in the tuchus.
Hmm.
Here's a question I have, and this is, well, I have a friend. I have a friend who filed taxes and got a huge tax bill. Is it ever possible to dispute a tax bill?
Of course, that depends on what information you have to refute it. How
Hmm.
did the IRS come to determine your bill? And we tend to forget that every transaction that we do with this that is attached to our social security number gets reported to the IRS. And
Yes.
so they will look for your tax return to see whether you have reported those information. Most of the times, if they ask you about something, it's because they already know about it. And we are foolish enough to think we can just lie about it. And it is the lie that costs you more money than anything else.
Right.
Lying to a
Before
federal
we
officer
forget,
is a crime.
um, so then does the IRS though? I've never seen them volunteer this information about how they have come to my tax bill. So is that something that
You have the
you?
right to know. It's freedom of information, and I will find that out for you.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mhm.
So right. So I'm asking questions because I know that very often there's so much fear around filing taxes, especially if you've been out of work, or if you're working smoothly and you're comfy corporate job, not so much, but the game changes a little bit when you're working for yourself, or perhaps you have new applications, or new dependents that have come into your life, and how to claim them, how to do that. And it can be a little challenging to
That's
navigate.
when you do need a tax professional to make sure.
Yeah.
What I like to say to my clients is do not wait until the end of the year or to the beginning of tax season to contract my services. You may need me in January for the tax year that is beginning so that we can plan your taxes. I prefer doing tax planning than to just do your taxes because
Okay.
when I just do your taxes, I'm doing it for the IRS.
Mm.
When you plan your taxes, then I'm doing it for you. You get the benefit. But
Well,
there are some
that
laws that let
I
me finish.
apologize. When
Some
you say
laws
planning, I'm
some
trying to.
laws cannot be applied retroactively. So if we didn't plan for it, you miss that benefit. And this is how people get caught because they didn't plan their taxes and they try to claim a benefit that they missed because something should have been done at a certain time that they didn't do, and they're trying to make that claim, and the IRS is going to pick it up. Okay.
I'm,
The other
I'm,
thing too is a lot of people are going to go to jail this year, 2022,
oh,
because of the
wait. What do you
yeah,
mean by that?
because a lot of people who have small businesses or don't have small businesses have claimed that small business cushion, the stimulus cushion for small businesses. And many times the premise upon which the loan is granted is that you have employees. It was designed to keep businesses open who were providing employment for people who were getting W-2 employment. And many people have nobody working for them.
Yeah.
But they applied and they got these large sums of monies that is about to come to bite some people in the butt.
Yikes. Yikes. So I love the idea that you begin planning in January.
Yep.
Really important, folks. Did you hear that? We need to start planning our taxes in
Be intentional
January.
about our taxes.
Intentional. I love that word, intentional. Because if you're like me, you're scrambling on April 13th, you know. but
Then it's
I'm
kind of too
changing
late.
that this year. 2022 is my year to change and focus energies, positive energies in
Absolutely.
different
Absolutely.
areas for business, and accounting and tax is one of those areas. So I'm so excited that you're here. I want to hear a little bit about what your tax preparation, what your process looks like.
Okay. In planning your taxes, we try to understand what your industry is, what your industry does. We look at some of what is being done by others that are similar to you in the industry. I will pull up their accounting records if they're available, and we will assess those together. I'll show you what they have been doing, how they have been doing it, and why it would be advantageous to you to adopt or to avoid some of their pitfalls.
Smart.
All right.
Smart.
Once we do that, we set a plan for you going forward, and we start out by creating for you a budget. We do a budget and we do a process plan. And the process plan is how you operate your business from day to day and what you do with your paperwork to make sure that we catch all revenue and we make sure that we don't miss any expenses. Once we have that your business is operating on even keel, your accounting is running like a smoothly run engine, and the State Department sees your federal and your state payroll taxes that are coming in. This is one of the big catch for many people. Many people report that they have no income to the state. But then they have some people at the end of the year who are reporting that they worked for these companies.
Mm.
And these are the nightmares that I have been asked to solve from time to time. And when people make those messes and you charge them for the complexity of finding solutions to these crises, they scream bloody
Yes.
murder.
How about, so they scream when you find solutions to their lies. Ooh, did I say that? Okay.
Yes,
Hey. Well,
you
but they're
don't
not
operate
being put
properly.
in cuffs by those agents that come for them. How about that? Definitely worth it.
People don't seem to understand it. But
Wow.
the
Pete,
easiest thing is
you
operate in honesty.
you are really dropping some gems tonight. Folks, we're going to go to commercial and we are going to be right back. I have so many more questions for Pete the Tax Guy. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Throw and Tuck. It's handmade by myself, and you only can get it here, and it's patent, and it's only here at Rococo Design. It's like a regular pillow, or you can take the blanket out like so, fluff up the pillow, open up your blanket, wrap it around yourself, and then you can lay on your sofa and relax with your pillow, throw and tuck. When you're done with it, Just flip it over. When you don't want the blanket anymore, you just fold it over twice. Fold it over twice again. Fold it over. And tuck it in the back. And there you go. Get back to the pillow throw and tuck. The Coco design.
I love her. Hey guys, welcome back to Mo Money Mondays here with your host, Vanda. You are listening to All About Us Radio. So excited that you're here. Tonight, we are chit chatting with Pete, the tax guy, who is dropping some gems and going to keep us out of prison with our taxes coming up in 2022. So helpful, so helpful. Thank you again, Pete, for being here tonight. I want to ask, we were talking about when we're filing and preparing and planning and beginning in January. What about those folks that are 1099? Any advice for them?
1099 is the secret to a whole lot of blessings and shenanigans. Blessings because through a 1099, you are able to operate as though you have an established business with the IRS. So even though you don't have a registered business in the State Department, if you are being paid as an employee, and here's the issue. Many companies are paying people as 1099s who really should be W-2s. And the IRS have not come after you because they are short-staffed. But many of the people that are being treated as contract employees are really employees because they cannot tell you when they want to come to work. They have to come when you tell them to. That makes you their employer. They cannot choose not to come to work on a day when you want them to work. That makes you their employer. And they can't leave the job when they feel like it. That makes you their employer. If someone is truly a 1099 person, which is a self-contracted business, then such a person is not bound by the rules of engagement of the employer or the contractor. Now,
Wow.
I'm sorry to be hurting someone's thoughts tonight. If you have people that you're paying 1099 that are people who have no authority over their time and place, then really you have an employee for whom you are responsible for their tax. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Because
Well, I'm sorry, go on.
what you do with a 1099 is that you take from yourself the liability for doing the withholding taxes from their money and for you being responsible for paying half of your tax bill to the IRS and putting it on them.
Okay. I understand. I understand.
And that's really illegal. It's actually fraudulent. But many people are getting away with it until the IRS is able to staff themselves properly and then start going after people.
Yes, because I think that folks have done this perhaps just because, in their own ignorance.
Yep.
So I would hate for folks to get caught. So guys, I hope you've got a pen and paper and you are taking notes. So Pete, the tax guy, give us a little insight about the difference between married filing separately and filing single.
Okay. Married filing separately is the worst tax bracket you can use.
Ooh.
You get nothing. None of the benefits that are available do you get. Single, you still will get some of the benefits. Married filing separate, you lose almost everything. If you're married, you're married. You really should file jointly.
jointly.
You
Yeah.
really should file jointly if you're married.
I hear
If
there are a lot of great benefits when you file
you have all the benefits in the
jointly.
world when you're married, and that's the best filing status. Married filing jointly.
Okay. I think
However,
that's why a lot of people get married, actually.
it's also the reason why a lot of people don't get married because you have to disclose things that you don't normally want to disclose
Oh,
to your
yeah,
partner.
that too. Okay. You're
Um,
funny. Okay.
it was primarily, I believed, and this is my belief. I don't know that for sure, but it's my belief that it was designed to prevent people who were marrying bogus marriages for other purposes
Yeah.
and didn't want to join their resources together. That this is one of the things that deters people from doing that, because if you do that, then you're going to have to present a joint return when you go for certain interviews, and a lot of people get bitten
It's kind of
on
smart.
that
It's
stuff.
kind of smart.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, I know that I have, this is my own personal question. So, Vanda, CEO of the Jamison Legacy Group,
Hmm.
would like to know, can you explain the difference to me between a tax credit and a deduction?
Oh yes. Um, I probably
You're
should bring up one
smiling. You're smiling. I see that made you
of.
smile.
I'm trying
Okay,
to
I'm
bring up
ready.
a tax return that doesn't have anybody's personal information on it. All right, let me just bring up a blank form.
Okay.
All right. All right. Tax form 1040. Hmm, That's not giving me. All right. Let me go to a textbook. AUZU. All right. So I'm teaching class tonight. Okay. Let me find the tax textbook. All right. Um, tax. Okay.
I asked a good question.
You did. You kind of threw me right back into school there for a minute.
Uh-oh. Well, it's come up and I usually just follow instructions, but honestly, I don't understand the difference. So, I'm so glad. I gotcha.
Deductions and credits. All right. And we're going to. Okay. Can we see that now? Everybody got to look at that? Good. All right.
Oh no,
Go.
we can only see you, unfortunately. Sorry.
You
But
can
I'm
only
all
see.
ears.
Okay. All right. So sharing my screen didn't work there. Eh? All right.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't share screens here. But you have our undivided attention. You definitely have mine.
Chapter.
And just to remind everyone,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Pete the tax guy is dropping some gems, and I've just asked him the difference between a tax credit and a deduction. Uh, I've never questioned it. I just pay it, but there is a difference. So he's going to break it down for us.
Okay.
I've sent him
Yeah,
back to school for just a
you
moment.
did. I just want to make sure I give you a technical definition rather than off the cuff.
Okay,
Do me a
as
favor.
long as we can understand it.
Yeah.
Please speak English. Okay, I'm
It
ready.
will be English. It'll be English
Okay.
enough.
Okay.
Um, can you take a quick break for me and let me get my
I
information
sure
together?
can. How
Thank
about
you.
that? We'll do another commercial
Thank
and then
you.
we'll come back and we'll wrap with the difference between a tax credit and a tax deduction. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful. That little holiday
Okay.
clip.
Um,
Yes, yes. Come on, Pete the tax
the
man.
primary thing is the standard deductions. The standard deductions is what the government has allowed standard deductions which are designed to create income equality, um, to help to alleviate the rates of poverty among us. Um,
Is that a credit?
it's a deduction,
It's a deduction. I'm sorry, you did say a standard
right?
deduction.
And the deduction is designed to bring your income more in a line with that of those who are making a lot more money,
Okay.
and reduce the amount of taxes that you are legally required to pay. Whereas a credit in essence will provide you more often than not with a refundable credit. Most of it, it's refundable, so that even if you never had an income, like the child tax credit, you do get that one regardless of whether you worked that year. So there are
Ah,
many people who
okay.
never had an income, but you got two kids. You should do a tax return because of those two kids,
Right.
even if you
That's
made
a great example.
$0. That tax credit is refundable. And once we do your taxes, apply your standard deduction, which brings your taxable income, which was already zero. Your standard deduction is not taxable, which means that you owe no tax. Then when that credit comes in, that credit goes right back to you rather than become something that the IRS can tax. I wish I could share the screen so you could see an actual tax
Good
return
to know.
and see the areas.
Well, I
Um,
thought it was a great example, using, a parent that maybe has not worked because they have
mhm.
children. So because I would have asked, well, how do you pay taxes if you haven't worked? But no, that was excellent, excellent, and I understood the answer. So thank you so much.
And then for
Um,
the business person, there are business credits that are applied in
oh,
different
oh, do
states.
tell.
There are some business credits that differ from state to state and township to township, that is allowable because of doing business in a state or local, or because there is a governor who is trying to populate his state, and provide certain credits to people who are hiring LGBT. You get this credit simply just for applying for hiring so many persons who are members of a certain group. Or you might get a certain credit because you are in a certain line of business, well, which I won't say here. But there are some, like in Connecticut now, the marijuana is now legal. There was a time when you would have gotten a credit because you invest in marijuana.
Hmm,
Uh,
interesting.
and it's amazing that if it's like buying insurance. You wouldn't know that you could get a deduction in your insurance premium simply because you're black, depending on where
What?
you.
That we can do that?
Some places, yes, depending on where
Really?
you live in.
Oh yeah, they're not
Uh,
telling us that.
you can get a deduction in your insurance rate simply because you are going to school and your GPA
Yes,
is so much. You know,
yes.
if you don't know these little loopholes, which is why I said earlier on, anybody can do taxes, but it's knowing these little things that brings you back a refund that makes the difference when you're doing it.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you so much for that clarification.
Right.
Um, so I have we're gonna we're almost out of time. Pete the tax guy, are you now you mentioned Connecticut. I know you're based in Connecticut.
I can do
So
taxes for any state.
that was my question. Are you national? Do you have to be
Yes.
licensed or
Oh,
certified
yes.
in certain areas?
I can do
Any state.
taxes
Do you
in
hear
any
that,
state.
guys? Pete can do taxes. He can do your taxes.
Yeah.
He can do your taxes. He can do your taxes, your taxes, your taxes, and your taxes too.
And thanks for COVID, everybody is now using Zoom. Everybody is remote. So it's so much easier to do taxes for people in Alaska that I will never meet. 'Cause
Um,
I'm not-
has 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 this new pivot in business
it,
been an asset to your
it
business?
is a great asset. It's an open door that I'm trying to take advantage of
Absolutely. Good for you. Good
because
for you.
I want to
Uh,
be able to offer a better service for a more reasonable price to people who have been paying through the nose to
mm,
CPAs who do nothing more for them than I would do.
oh, beautiful. Bless you.
Yep.
Bless you. Yes, because
Thank
I've
you.
been one of those people that has paid through the nose. So thank you for that. We
You
need
don't
that.
have to bleed at tax time. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it just needs to be accurate.
Accurate. Well, Pete, what if I owe taxes and I can't pay the taxes? I think that's a real fear that folks have, and it keeps them from taking that step to actually do their taxes.
If you owe taxes, you can make arrangements to pay. If it's been for a certain period of time, we can apply for an abatement for them to cancel your debt. But you can get that one-time forgiveness only. Do it. They only allow it once. After that, you can't go wrong again.
Okay.
So if
That's
you
good
are
to know.
bad, if you have been bad, if you have a lot owing, we can ask them to zero your debt, and thereafter you will be good. On a promise, you're going to be good. And
Wow.
of course, you have to sign the promissory note that thereafter you'll not miss a payment. You will be on time, and you will be accurate. Because if they catch you again, they're going to scold you.
Excellent.
But it can be
Guys,
done.
do you hear this? Pete, you have the answers. Pete is the guy. Pete's going to
So
be my tax guy. That's for
I'm looking
sure.
forward to doing it.
Thank you
Mhm.
so much, Pete. We did
You are
it.
so very welcome. So,
We
so very
finally
welcome.
got together. You guys, I've been trying to
And,
wrangle Pete in for almost a year. He is so busy. I have been requesting that he come and speak to the people. So thank you so much, Pete. You
because
made it. You
after
made
tax
it.
season is over, there's always the guy who needs me in October.
Oh, what happens in October?
By October, the IRS has caught up with the shenanigans you put on your tax return.
Oh, okay. So, and for all of you out there with the shenanigans,
Stop it.
Pete the
We'll
tax
catch up
guy in
with you.
October. Okay. That's real talk. I love it. Which means that you know what? You know what I heard just now, Pete? Pete doesn't judge.
Nope.
He doesn't judge, he just helps.
I will help you.
How
It doesn't
about
matter
that?
what you've done. I don't care what you did. I will help to find a way out for you.
And that's really important. I know that people are, trust is a factor
Yep.
when it comes to this industry and people claiming taxes. Pete, thank you again for joining us tonight on Mo
Looking
Money
forward to it.
Mondays. Let everyone
Looking
know
forward to
how they
coming
can
back. If you
find
don't mind.
you, please. Pete, how do we find you?
Easiest way to find me is using my email, petestaxes84@gmail.com, or you can call me on 203-581-0823. And
Goodness.
I'm available around the clock, so call me anytime.
You guys, he just gave you his phone number
And that's
on
my cell
on
phone.
on his work phone on the record. Tell us again, Pete. What's your phone number? Okay, ladies, calm down. One more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
203-581.
Pete. Pete, start again. Start again. I was talking.
203-581-0823. And you can call me anytime.
Excellent. You can call him anytime. Thank you so
And,
much, Pete.
and if your books are in a mess, if you need me to come and help you set up your thing on your location, we can also arrange that.
Okay. I'll be calling you. I'm
Thanks
not a
again.
mess, but I need to start. I definitely, it is on my list. So I'm so glad. What a great way to
Yep,
end the year and help get us organized for the new year.
absolutely.
Because,
Looking
guys,
forward to meeting with some of you.
2022 is going to be it. Pete, thank you so much for helping us out tonight.
My pleasure.
I hope you'll come back and check up and follow up with
Anytime.
everyone.
Hopefully, I'll be a whole lot more prepared than I am tonight.
Excellent. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Have
much.
the best holiday. Happy
You
holiday.
too. Stay out of the cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, he's gone. Guys, it was great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Mo Money Mondays. I am your host, Vanda of the Jamison Legacy Group. You have been listening to All About Us Radio. It's holiday time. It's holiday time. So don't spend all your money in one place. Remember that we are going into 2022 and we want to go in with full pockets and prosperity and abundance. So thank you again. Of all the places you could have been, I'm so excited that you chose to be here with us. Stay safe, stay woke, and live each day with intention. Happy holidays.
You're listening to All About Us Radio. We're live streaming 24/7, playing old school versus new school. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at AAU Media, and visit our website, www.aaumedia.com. Call us at 1-833-369-1444, extension 1, and leave us an inspirational message or request. You're listening to All About Us Radio. You're